Most kind and gracious Heavenly Father, we come before you again, Lord. We are so thankful for the day you've given us, Father God. We're thankful, Father God, that we live in such a great country, Father God, where we can come together in freedom. Lord, we just ask that you just go with us as we conduct the business of the county this evening, Father God. Watch over us in all that we say and do. And Lord, we'll give you glory, honor, and praise for all things. In Jesus' holy name we pray. And amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you.
6:01 p.m. Today is Tuesday, June the 15th, 2021. We have some guests here to speak this evening. Number one on the agenda, though, under comments from citizens and special guests, is public hearing for LGEA funds.
And that's just basically, if anybody is here and has any suggestions or any, for any roads that they want fixed concerning our 2021 and 2022 funds, you can speak now. Okay?
Bear Flats.
You're saying Bear Flat, be more specific, state, county?
State portion.
Okay. I did get a nugget that 885 had some repair coming. I've not heard anything since the day that I received that nugget. I've got to follow back up on that. So I will get back to you.
Yeah, I mean, it just had, it's pertinent to what I'm bringing up.
Understood. I don't disagree with you at all. I appreciate it. Let me do some homework real fast, and I'll get back with you, okay? All right. Number two, a discussion with Centos. We have a representative from Centos.
Yes, sir.
Stand up, make yourself known.
Absolutely. Brad Napier, Ashland, Kentucky, Centos location. Here to talk to you about the maintenance garage, as far as what we propose, what's needed. So initially, the initial proposal to you was a 4x6 logo mat for the location. 3 outdoor rubber paper mats like you have at the entrance here. An inside mat, probably for where everybody travels inside now. A hand cleaner service on the dispenser somewhere in your bathroom for the guys that get greasy on their hand. Paper towels and a paper towel dispenser, 800-foot roll paper towels. Toilet paper, a case of trash bags, and 1 case of all-purpose wipers like that. Heavy-duty towels you wipe dispose of. Yeah, shop towels, essentially. These multiple towels. The original proposal here is for 1 of the logo mats, 3 of the rubber, 1 of the 3x5 inside mats, 1 of the hand cleaner, 3 rolls of paper towels at a month. They're 800 foot in length. They go pretty far. 1 case of paper towels, 1 case of trash bags that actually has 1,000 trash bags in them. 13 gallons. Probably get quite a bit. They're as needed as well. And then 1 box of wipers. You're looking at $40.86 weekly.
What's that?
$40.86 weekly for those items. And then an additional thing there at the garage that might make sense for you guys, we have a closed water system. It's called Water Break. And instead of like buying like the bottles of water to go inside the like the Tyler Mountains and things like that, but you buy like the big 5-gallon bottle of water. We tie it into your water line. They can use it right there. It's closed. It's got its own filtration system in it. We actually maintenance that anyway. So that would be another thing we would invite you to consider.
Let me ask you on that, let me stop there.
Sure.
Where would you see you tie it into an existing water line? Where would that dispense?
Right out of the unit itself. It's a floor model unit.
Oh, so it's a unit?
Yeah, we bring in the units.
Okay.
We put it in there. It has an agreement attached to it similar to this. We bring it in. We plumb it. We use whatever plumb lines you have. We don't plumb anything. We just tie it off of like what you've got in the supply line or an existing line. And it filters in there. That filter gets changed annually, so there's no upkeep or maintenance on your part. It'll do like room temperature water, do hot water, like if you want to make some food or tea or coffee or something to that effect. It does like cold and sweat.
What's the cost? You were in your flow and I destroyed it. I'm
No,
sorry.
it's okay. That's okay.
Go ahead.
Oh, no, that was it.
What was the cost on that?
The cost on that typically is right at $60 monthly, but with it being a nonprofit entity But in terms of these other things that we mentioned, that does fall under the Omnia agreement, which is available to nonprofits, government, state, local. So basically, you would be looking at 36-month term with those other things for maintenance garage, and it's a 1-year term on the water rate.
That filter is good for a year on that water.
Yep.
Is it a large filter?
Not particularly, no. The whole unit itself stands about yay high of that line. And then we come in as part of the regular service when we're inside doing the other things that we're doing. We'll actually wipe it down, make sure it's in good condition. We use a disinfectant wipe to sanitize and clean it.
$1,600 a month? Or $1,600 a year?
For which portions are
All together.
Yeah, they're about, would be, if you're looking at 160 monthly, that and another event, they're about.
So it's about $2,200 a year, 52 weeks, 2192-ish.
Are there any times when you're out of session or you don't have people working that you would be on hold or anything like that? Is there anything like that that goes on? Or do you pretty much run that garage continuously?
The garage it's pretty much 5 days a week. You know, there's 10 and a half holidays. Good Friday's a half a day.
Got it.
But other than that, the garage is.
No seasonal hold periods or anything like that? Okay.
No, it's gonna roll, we'll keep right on rolling.
Good deal.
Nothing foreseeable. Didn't know we were gonna have a global pandemic here.
No, sir, we did not.
Isn't that a savings of what we're doing right now?
I would say it is, yeah.
Kind of.
Our never been bottled water, and
Well, we would still do some bottled water, especially when the inmates get back out.
The price I'd be looking on that, Myron, or the Omni pricing for water rate is $40 a month for it. That, you get that Omni pricing back. And that's something we can also look into on anything. Omni pricing goes for not just Centos.
Yeah.
I mean, you can get discounts on all kinds of stuff.
Okay.
And you're already registered through them. That used to be called U.S.
It
Communities.
did, and it's basically just a purchasing cooperative for nonprofit entities. You can go out and get discounts on other things through there, like you mentioned.
So how does that tie in for those that are watching this, and for those of you that are here and don't know, the truck comes here as well, right?
Yes, sir.
So how does that tie in with within, we don't have contract, presently? Is this still going to remain separate?
Yeah, that would be a separate entity. That would have its own sold to, like, business development account number, essentially.
Okay.
This would be its own entity here. I mean, yeah, it's all under the same umbrella, of course, but that would be its own location, separate from this. So that would not impact any business here in any way. Unless you chose to put everything under one master agreement and have its own term. That way there's no, difference in expiration dates.
Does the AOC give us any kind of reimbursement?
for the courthouse.
So no, we would need to keep it separate.
Okay.
I wouldn't want to merge them together because some of what we spend in this building to AOC, there's a reimbursement, and I wouldn't want to get into auditing.
I can understand that.
So you're looking around 2,100, and then you could have, you're saying that there's that savings there through the Omni agreement.
Yeah, that's with that pricing. That pricing is set up that I presented just now with that Omnia pricing. Basically, that is Omnia pricing. So
And currently, we purchase our items full of paper towels, and all the supplies through Quill. We're hoping there'll be some savings
maybe we will.
by going through Centos.
Yeah, also too, I mean, this is a flexible program. So let's say, for example, that we show up and maybe you don't need 3 rolls of paper towels that month, but we show up, you only need 2. We need 2, bill you for 2, not 3. The forecast here, the preliminary forecast is for 3. Those quantities may change based on what you see fit over there, but at any rate, based on this here, the only thing that's recurring that you really have to plan for is like your formats, your soaps, things of that nature. The paper products are kind of as needed.
Yeah, and I think I've discussed with them too, just kind of started one while ago for the meeting. I think we've taken the floor mats down to 3. We're only going to do 3, and that's 2 for the entrances from the garage to
Would that be the outdoor mats, like where you configured this for you? Is that what we're talking about, the outdoor mats that need to be?
Yeah, we have the two big outdoor mats and they have the holes in them, so the dirt gets trapped in there and it works really good for us.
Okay.
We have two of them and then the outside one, the one before you come in, it is, I don't know what it's called, but it's just got little bridges in it.
Like you have out here now?
Yes.
Okay.
This program, if accepted, and we're into this a month or a week, and we find that we feel like something needs added, something needs removed, is it fluid? Can we work through that?
It is, there's flexibility, so for example, if you decided you needed more products,
Yes.
it's fine, you can add them on. If you decide you take things away, that's fine, you can take them away. However, the only thing that's required on the agreement, that as a national account cooperative, like I mentioned, is a $35 spend. As long as you're meeting that commitment, we're in check.
Okay. All right. Magistrates. I want to ask you to think about voting on this. This evening would be a one-year deal for us down at the county garage. It's something they've never, the push on the wall, we had a company bring in something, we tried it out for a while. This product that Cintas offers is better. But before, a couple years ago, we didn't even have that. So what he's offering here, with a rolled towel dispenser, 800 feet.
Automatic too, touchless.
Automatic. Right now, we're going through rolls of paper towels every time one gets done working on a truck. They turn on the hot water, squirt, and then and we're replacing this stuff. This is time that we're taking out of doing our job, and we're also our own maintenance folks. Whereas weekly, or is it bi-weekly?
On the paper towel portion, those will be delivered monthly.
Okay.
The rugs change weekly.
But it's easy swap now.
Easy.
Yeah, open it up. So,
He'll come in every week, he'll change our rugs out, and he'll look, he said he'll look in our closet and see what we need, what we're running low.
Yeah, for some reason, if we're there, we see you need something, we'd have a conversation with, I'm assuming you would potentially be our contact there. We would reach out to you, have that conversation, or have a conversation locally, and get approval for additional items as needed.
Yeah.
this contract, could it start July 1st if put to vote this evening?
Yeah, sure could.
A successful vote.
And
So
again,
what was the yearly back period on that?
You're around $2,000, $2,100, right? Probably close. $2,100.
Do you know what you're spending now?
You just pull your wheel.
Yeah, no, I didn't pull those numbers.
Well, you're also getting it from 2 other distributors too, instead of one.
And
You already getting rugs down there from Cintas anyway?
We are, yes. Same as here.
Well, you're gonna save more on them paper towels, I'd say, to pay for everything else with what you're doing now.
yeah, currently we buy from Quill, we keep it at the office, and then we transfer down here when it needs to be transferred, as far as paper towels, toilet paper, cleaning supplies, Lindo or somebody come up there and get them as needed. So it's kind of hard for us to tell exactly what's kept there from the department, what comes here.
If an elected official or Linda needs something, they just come get it. Or they'll call us and we'll bring it up here.
So we're looking, if we do accept that we will be saving some money.
You're not only saving money, we're saving time.
Saving time.
We're able to do our job more.
So does this contract cover the courthouse?
No. But yes and no.
Yes, sir.
The toilet paper, the hand towels come here anyway, through us. We buy them, right now we buy them through Quill, we buy them through another distributor, and they come to the county garage. When they're needed here, the phone calls are made to us, we either have them at the ready, or Linda comes down there and gets what she needs and brings it up here.
So how are they gonna use the big rolls of paper towels?
We will still receive rolls of paper towels, we still need rolls of paper towels.
So land is for the garage, is what you're saying?
Yeah. We're adding, by us adding to the garage, it's also going to add to here as well. Because the toilet paper and paper towels come up here.
And trash bags.
And trash bags, all the trash bags come up here as well as needed.
But what you buy off of them under contract, you will not be buying off of Quill and the
That's
supplier.
correct. That is correct.
And by the time you swap it out, it looks to me like it's gonna save you money, plus the hassle of having to tooth all them different vehicles. So what do you need, a motion made if we want to accept the bid?
So 1 year,
So you're saying you already have Central service at that location? You have it here,
Courthouse.
right, but you not have it at the
Not
garage?
here.
Okay, no, it's a 36-month term.
3 years.
And how much per year again?
Well, it's mandatory $35 a month, right?
At bare minimum.
At bare minimum, it's $35 a month.
Let's say it-
About a drinking session.
Well, you can cut it down in
That's,
time, as long as you don't go under $35 a month, right?
Yeah.
The water machine would be, it's a separate contract,
How long's the contract on it?
36.
36 months?
36 as well.
Yeah, that's what's on,
That's
right?
what I said, one.
So you're looking at a year, you're looking at around 21 to 2,200 bucks.
I'm still trying to get my head wrapped around how it's gonna help the courthouse. Well, is there regular rolls delivered down there? Is that what you're telling me?
Yes.
It's all delivered to you all.
Everything's delivered to us, and
that's
it's distributed to here. Now, that's how it works. We're the hub. It comes to us and then it comes to here. Either we bring it here when they call and say, hey, we need it now, or Linda comes down and gets it. She makes a list and she comes and gets it and she brings it.
That's the same way regular paper, printer paper.
Same with printer
Paper, all
paper.
this.
It's either, all printer paper is delivered to us, and then when an elected official needs it for their office, they either call us and we bring it to them, or they come down and get it. Either or.
Do we also take care of all awards like that, or in the library?
No. That's correct. They get their own paper, and I think they get their own toilet paper within their budget.
You think that water stand will be utilized that much in the garage? We're talking range temperature water, and I'm thinking guys working 90-degree heat, they're gonna want cold water.
Oh, it has cold water. Cold water's 36 degrees, and hot water's 195 degrees. Room temperature water is just room temperature.
So it's a unit, self-contained.
Yep.
Yes, sir.
That's gonna cut down on your bottled water purchases a
Oh,
lot. We're gonna
it
eliminate
cut down, well,
But it's,
the little refrigerator that we have now, if you stick a case of 24-ounce, 24 pack of 16.9 ounce water, you shove that back in there, you filled up that shelf. Whereas in this, if they need a drink, they get a cup, cold water, they're ready to rock. So yeah, they're definitely cutting back on for the bottle.
so again, how do you need a motion made if we decide we wanna do this?
Johnny, is that right? You would make a motion to agree to a 36-month contract with Centos regarding what's being discussed right here?
I'll make that motion to accept the 36-month contract bid.
I'll say,
Is that with or that's a separate contract to the drink stand?
That's included in it.
So I have a motion and a second to enter a 36-month contract with Centos for paper janitorial supplies, correct?
Correct.
And a drink station at the county garage.
They will, just a note here, they will have separate agreements.
Yeah.
Different language, so there'll be one for the garage, one for the water machine. They'll both be in the same place, but they'll have separate pieces of paper.
Now, the one for the, like the minimum that you have to spend would be $35, that's be under one contract, right?
That's under just the janitorial supplies. You'll have the water machine for that time.
The water
period.
machine's 36-month period when you
Yes,
sign
sir.
it.
That's
What's
right.
the cost on that one per month?
$40.
So the we have a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion?
Is there a hand washing thing in this?
No.
They gonna use the big roll of towels. They ain't gonna use the big roll of towels. so.
We have in the garage a sink in the garage. We can mount the roll of towels on the wall just above
You're talking just like you have in a restroom, you pull the towel down.
Correct. Only reason it's touchless, they weight it spits it out.
Okay.
We'll install
Get
the
the picture
sensors.
They have a little thing that's over, that's over too.
now. I'm not even picture now. I just picked up something on the hand washing thing or what.
Any further discussion? With that said, all in favor signify by saying aye, please. Aye. Any opposed? Ayes have it. Thank you. Let it be known, let the record show that Dewey Smith abstained from voting. He is an employee of Centos, and let the record show that Dewey did not vote in this. Anything else?
No, sir.
Thank you. Thanks for taking time to come up here and explain this to us.
Do you need me to continue to stay, or?
You are free to do.
Okay, I just didn't know. I didn't want to be rude for you.
No.
Just sit around and watch all this, she's short here.
You're welcome, sir, to go have a good dinner.
Thank you.
Or you can hang out and watch the festivities.
I'll provide you with the information on the back end to get started. Thank you all.
All right. Number 3, we have a citizen, Mark Cox, who has, I don't want to call it a proposal because he's wanting to run with this, and from what I've heard, this is great. But Mark wanted to come to fiscal court this evening and make it known his plan and some of the works that he's done behind the scenes. So Mark, the floor is yours, sir.
All right, hand all these out. Here's some maps. Chris, you got one, sir?
Thanks, sir.
And, all right, if you look on there, may I use this?
Yes, sir, absolutely.
So if you look on there at Twin Bays, that's kind of smack in the middle of it. There's a little green dot there that I put, I kind of fat fingered it on there, and that's my property. Now there used to be a road that went in between Bear Flats and Portland Flats. It was Fox Holler a long time ago. Well, that road's actually my driveway. Now, the rest of the road is still intact, going down to the bottom of that first bay that goes back. And so what we're thinking about doing, I've been getting with the Corps engineers, and they're all behind us, is starting a shuttle service to where we would pick up kayakers and canoes and whatnot at the Bruin boat ramp, at the State Park campground, at 504 boat ramp, and at the Newfoundland boat ramp. And then once the bridge gets done in World Gorge, maybe there. Who knows? Depends on how well it goes. The kayaking there itself is just spectacular. I don't know if y'all go out there and go fishing or know that part of the lake very well, but it is absolutely gorgeous out there. And I think that we could literally turn it into easily the best flat water kayak in eastern Kentucky, if not the eastern U.S. I mean, we've really got something to work with here. You see so many people up at Caney Creek, or not Caney Creek, but Clifton Creek, just going to the grotto, just for one waterfall. I mean, the place is packed every weekend, hundreds of kayaks. Now, what I'm doing is opening up an LLC. The name of it is Elliott County Kayak and Canoe. I don't want my name on it at all. It's nonprofit. Basically, the whole premise is I got the road and I want to let people enjoy it. I can't make any money. I'm a disabled vet, so it's kind of handing it and trying to help as much as I can to get this going to where we can get folks in and out and get some of the ecotourism dollars in Elliott County, because we will get people here with this. The moment that this gets out and the pictures get out, and it's going to explode. I could put on a slideshow and say things completely away. It's something, I just wanted to let y'all know this is what we're trying to do for our future. And like Frank Jeffries was saying, we've been talking about this for a couple of months now. This season, it really wouldn't happen. But next season, we could literally be up and running and have revenue coming into the county. And with maintaining cheap prices like that, we can allow churches and the schools and all of our sports teams and whatnot, they can do little fundraisers, kayaking events and whatnot, and raise money, just like motorcycles do. But we could do it with kayaks and let these guys, we'd never have to pay for uniforms or any of that. Let the tourist dollars do that for our kids. And we've got something to work with here. And I personally, really, I'm 100% behind this. As a matter of fact, I just signed all the paperwork today on an amphibious vehicle to kind of help smooth the code out. So, but that's it. I just wanted to let y'all know this is what we're trying to do. We're working with the Corps of Engineers. There's probably going to be a whole lot more discussion on this in the coming weeks and months, particularly with the Corps engineers. I don't know exactly what procedurally y'all need to do, but I'm basically going to give it to the county. I'm not going to keep it for myself. I'm going to give it to the county so that we've got something. You know, that's really about it.
I have a couple of questions.
Yes, sir.
You said you're in conversation with the Corps of Engineers.
Yes, sir.
I'd say there will be your biggest swing.
They are the biggest advocate, actually.
Well, that would be good. They'll have to give you access to that.
They're writing up, what they're doing right now is, I have an easement with them because I own the road, and they have to come across my property to get to their property. That's how I have technically access to it. They're writing up all the easements, one for me and one for them across my property again. And then it'd be one for Elliott County going down the hill, where Elliott County itself will have an easement. And that's how Elliott County gets all of the revenue. So, and they're writing up all that. Frank Jeffries is writing all that up on it. I'm retired military. I'm not a businessman, so I honestly don't know that much about that kind of stuff. But I know that we've got the natural resources and the ability to do something really special here. That's about it for me.
I love the idea. Like you said, I fish quite a bit. I'm on the lake. I was on the lake this weekend, and it's overran kayakers. There's, like you said, hundreds every weekend. This is an amazing
But
idea.
not on our portion.
Yeah, I know, they're cliffy. And getting them up here, getting those dollars into this county, Carter County, that's just the way it is. I think it'd be amazing, anything we can possibly help you do. Is it going to be quite a bit of work to get where you can smooth it out to easily get the kayaks up and down there?
Greater Plains.
I just grouse up that years ago, and
Honestly, there's some pretty bad washed out spots, but Great Plains and gravel, really not good. It's nothing that a little sweat equity couldn't take care of real quick.
oh, we got some pretty extreme kayakers sitting.
Marcus, you met the two young ladies in the back.
You really did need to go meet those guys.
This is Hackerstan.
I can literally hear them behind me.
I turned around and they got two big smiles.
I mean, I don't know, those of you that know where Twin Bays is and seen it, knows how pretty it is. I mean, I sit there on my front porch. My cabin's the one that sits up above that. So I sit on the front porch and drink coffee and look at that every morning. And
Did you own Lewis Burke's place?
Yes, I did. Yes, that's the one I own. Yes, sir.
Yeah, Lewis is a good guy. I haven't seen him in a while.
So,
Yes,
so I'm
sir.
trying to say, you're gonna pick the canoes up, the people that drew a boat ramp and bring them here to the.
Yes, sir. What we do is basically put them in a van and have a trailer. They load their kayaks or canoes up on the trailer, jump in the van, we drive them from whichever boat ramp down. And what I'm going to do, the way that my driveway comes down and the road goes around, I'm going to cut it back around the house so there's kind of a U shape to where you can just pull the van in and drop the kayakers. If there's a perfect spot to drop them off, they can unload and start walking down the hill, and that's it. Now, the one thing that Frank and I talked about, simply because of the length of the paddle, and I'm pretty adamant on this one, because simply because it's a safety issue, is I don't want anyone launching from there past 3 o'clock, period. Because I don't think that there's going to be ample time for them they're going to have to rush to get back before dark in some of the instances. And, you get out there in the middle of that, there's nothing for you at night. That's not where you want to be. And then we're trying to do something good for folks. We don't want to put anybody.
Will there be a potential there of possibly having maybe some parking?
At my house, no.
I'm talking over on the Corps. Has Frank mentioned anything about that? Kind of like the Roomboat Dock has, or Clifty has?
On down from
Yeah.
that? No. The,
I know that's kind of thin through there, and like I
yeah,
said, it's
and
been a while.
I've talked to the neighbor, I've talked to Ronald Sturgill and the other neighbors up through there and explained to them what I'm trying to do. And, you know, the first thing out of their mouth was, is a bunch of people going to be coming up here in their cars, or are you going to be busing up here? They're going to be coming up in a bus. And everybody was good with that. You know, and because Ronald, and I don't blame him, because folks will throw bottles over in the creek, and these cows walk on them, and it cuts their hooves. You know, so that's, I've talked to him about it ever. Well, now I'm talking to y'all about it, so. I mean, we really got something to work with here, and I'm all in. So whatever I need to do to help out, I'm
Looking
in.
forward to see when this goes.
Well, so am I, buddy. So am I. I think we can do something good for everybody. Thank you. I appreciate you.
Thanks very much.
Thank you.
Girls, they have access from there, they can go plumb out to Caney.
Wherever you park your vehicle at.
Yeah,
You can't go back
you
to
just
Brunswick
have
or
a
up
straight
here.
back of your truck.
That's what I'm saying, so you all can even expand that over on the other side instead of maybe Bruin. That way, they could come back this way and do Middle Fork, places like that.
But, yeah, big inlet, little inlet, there's some beautiful waterfalls back there.
Oh, yeah,
And, you know, nobody knows about it.
I love it.
Well, I certainly appreciate y'all's time, and I'll, as I know, I'll keep everybody informed. Frank sent me stuff, and send it to y'all, and hopefully we can get this thing off the ground, and get it moving.
First, thank you. You've become a catalyst for something that may spark some excellent growth here. Second, don't run off. LaShawn and Jonah are here to talk about just a few things as it pertains to tourism. And you need to meet these young ladies, because this is something that they're very passionate about. They're both active kayakers. They love to do it. They love to take their kids out. And so you have a great, other than the audience that's watching us, you've got a great caption right there with those two. So LaShawn, anything that you wanted to discuss this evening? You can stand, you can make yourself, you're fine.
Well, I just hear it, it won't take long.
I'm still blown away that Mark is, my mind's bursting with ideas.
My heart's racing, I'm so excited. Me and her looked at each other and just grinned. And what he just said kind of ties into what I'm getting ready to mention. That's what Jonah mentioned, it's all going to kind of go together. The Tourism Council is trying to get Elliott County established as a trail town. With Jenny Wilder. And we think that it will help the county grow. We think it will bring tourists in, which in turn helps the economy. It will help tourism grow. It's just, it could be a great thing, but it takes manpower. That's our biggest hurdle with not just tourism, with everything. It's just, so we're trying to just come here and let everybody know what our plan is. We're going to have a special meeting on it, July 7th, here at the courthouse at 6 o'clock. We're going to have a couple guests here that's going to speak about it more in depth and explain what we're going to try to do, what we need to do, and we kind of need to have you guys on board, and we're going to get the city involved, try to get people from the chamber to come in. It needs to be a group effort to try to get this up and going. Get the trails fixed and bring kayakers in, and so we just kind of wanted to formally invite everyone watching and that's here, and we're going to post it in the paper to please come up on July 7th. Well, 6 o'clock, and we'll be here in the courtroom, and we'll be able to answer more questions then. We'll be more prepared for it, but we wanted to take opportunity today so that you all will be informed to be there then, so we can answer all the questions that you have. That's what we're trying to do. That is really all that I have to say. It's more like a formal invitation to come and listen to me talk more. And, which Jonah is a lot more knowledgeable about the ins and outs about it. I'm more of a paper pusher with this one, and she's the boss lady on that, so.
Are you going to try to hang on the put off building one, but we're trying to build the trail?
It's a what?
We're all building a horse riding or?
The trail town,
Oh.
they're working with Robin.
Mhm.
City County Trail down, and people from all over. I don't know if you guys are into outdoor recreation very much, but it's huge. And especially because of the pandemic, it has really picked up. People from all over come just to say, I've done this trail down, I've done that trail down, I've hiked at this place.
Turn into a bucket list type thing almost.
Yeah.
The kind of event that tourism had last weekend, Jonah Elliott, and what was it, about 15 people, 14 to 15 people came from Winchester,
Mount Vernon, which is southern Kentucky, about Grove Valley area. There's people that come from almost 3 hours away just to kayak in our county. They don't have this a lot of other places.
and that was just based off word of mouth, because we had flyers that we had produced here in the county, and it was just a picture, like an animated photo of someone hiking. So that was just hearsay, that's a pretty place, that just sounds like fun. So once Mark mentioned that once pictures and things like that get out of what we're hiding here, it's going to blow up. It's going to be really big.
You don't need to talk to about the nighttime kayaking, video, thing. The nighttime pursuit. They're with headlights and all.
We've got manpower, not that atmosphere, so we got the people back at that. Tourism as a whole has a whole lot of big plans, and we really like to get as many people on board as we can. Just for the support alone would really help out. And then any extra hands is always great, and extra minds and ideas, and so I would just really like everybody to just kind of band together and help us make it grow. But we've been about 3 years now, and we're finally starting to get things going and learn what we're doing. So if you all would, we would really appreciate your support. Seth, what was his name? Seth
Wheat,
Wheat.
Seth
We
Wheat.
want to try to get him to come out, and he's with the state tourism. So he'll have a lot to say, but we're really just waiting for all, I think, to help us with it. So that's all that I have to say.
You know, when you all have a flyer like that, I know a guy that reaches out across, get a few states and several counties around on Saturday night. He probably advertises for free.
He's kind of a big deal.
It must be if he knows Big Jim. That's what it is.
So-
And I'm kind of close to you, so I'm not that far away. Or that guy.
So in case you're watching this, and you didn't hear everything, I want to, this Elliott County tourism in the last year and a half especially, we've really put some effort behind this. We have some excellent volunteers that are working days and nights, not getting paid 1 cent, nothing. They're using their own gas, they're using their own elbow grease, their own energy, they're taking time away from their family. But as this grows, and the Mark Coxes come out of the woodwork and go, hey, I want to be involved in this. I want to help because I want to help. We need more help. We need someones who want to step up and volunteer and help us put a little bit of energy into this. The county is, from my perspective, we're going to help. We've got to figure out how we can help in the right avenues to do so. But I'm just like these ladies. I can see this growing, and when you go away, you see people at Red River Gorge, you see people outside of Sevierville, Tennessee, and they're on kayaks. We've got that right here in Elliott County. You take these pictures, you go down here in these cliffs, and you go from here down to the dam. A lot of Grayson Lake, of course, is in Elliott County. The Hidden Cove Golf Course is looking across the lake into Elliott County. So it's here, but we're going to need volunteers. We're going to need help to grow this tourism. This can spark in business. It can make folks realize that there's sandwiches to be made, hot dogs to be sold, memorabilia to be put out there. But it starts with us, and it starts right here. So my plea to you, if you're watching this, if you're sitting there and you're watching Channel 2 after we record this, help us out, reach out to us. LaShawn and Jonah were you've got family, you've got day jobs, you've got children, so you have all that you're responsible for, but they're still making this happen. And I can't tell you just how great that Sue Keaton, Judy Kelo, Anita Skaggs, Evan Skaggs, and I know I'm going to miss somebody that comes to these meetings and they do whatever it takes, but we're so little and we need more help. So come with an open heart, come with some hands that you don't mind to grub a little bit at times. We're going to work with Mr. Cox here as we move forward to try to get things established within his world. But we need others, and we hope that this little demonstration that you've seen from Mark and what the ladies are coming up with almost on the daily, we hope that it entices you and energizes you to want to get involved, you and your family. So here at the courthouse on July the 7th at 6 p.m., come if you're feeling well, if you have no COVID symptoms. If you do, don't show up. If you want to wear a mask, wear a mask. We just want you to be safe, but this meeting is about growing tourism. So ladies, thank you so much for all you do. I don't thank you enough. I really appreciate it. Mark, it's a pleasure. I look forward. You all exchange numbers. Those ladies are great, and they're looking for someone else to come aboard into the tourism little world we've got going on and really help us out.
Yeah.
When you were in
I
the
think
circle,
about the tobacco festival, we need some help there too. I'll set you up right now.
let's start with tourism, Mark. Not to say that you can't help in other places. Gosh, I know those girls are smiling, and I'm smiling too that you come in here. There's a lot of folks that want to get into this. My wife and child included. My daughter is just ready to go. So my son will never keep him in a boat.
We've got something truly to work with. We can make something special. And we all work together. There's no limit.
And there may be some opportunities in the next year or two. You never know, to get something like this going for outside growth. And this is there. So. Jim said it before, with disaster comes opportunity. And there are opportunities that are starting to show themselves. And I hope we can use some resources to help grow some other areas. So thank you all. Thank you, ladies. Thank you, Mark. Stick around as long as you want. Is there anyone else with anything else that you'd like to bring before the court this evening before we move into business? With that said, we'll go into section 5, number 1, approve regular meeting minutes for May 18th, 2021.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion by Chris Dickerson with a second by Louis Smith. Is there any further discussion? With that said, all in favor signify by saying aye, please.
Aye.
Any opposed? Let's have it. Number 2, approve special meeting minutes for May 25th, 2021.
So moved.
Second.
Got a motion by Louis Smith with a second by Pam Fannin. Is there any further discussion? That said, all in favor signify by saying aye, please.
Aye.
Let's have it. Section 6, new business. Approve, discuss any changes to the admin code. What I would suggest is you take this admin code, I'm going to ask for a special meeting on June 30th, that the treasurer wants anyway, to approve any unfinished business before the county. I would like to add this to that special meeting. If you find anything in there that you want changed, you want discussed, you want it rewritten, I would ask that if you would oblige for us to do it on June 30th, which puts us in this fiscal year, and we can have that conversation and make those changes accordingly.
At 6?
It would be at 6, and it will be here, June 30th, 6 p.m. But I wanted to get this admin code in front of you all, and I want to have some time to reflect as well. There's a couple things that I'd like to change. I'd like for you all to take a look at, but I want to make sure we do it in the time given. June is kind of the fiscal court's month to make any changes, and that would give us time to do so.
You say you want to make some change?
There's a couple things I want you all to look at. I have a couple suggestions. I want to be clear in thought before I stick them in front of you. Nothing crazy.
Emails all beforehand.
I can send them to you. That way you've got thoughts. I've got a couple of them in my head right now, but I don't want to divulge them because we'll beat them to death in court. I'd like for you to weigh them out. So, do we says approved, Johnny, or well, approved or discussed. Can we roll on if they're okay with us discussing this until then? All right, number 2, approve the second reading of the Elliott County Fiscal Court's third budget amendment. Should have that in front of you, Treasurer.
So this is the third budget amendment we done. I sent it to DLG, and the state local finance officer has signed it, and we just need to do a second reading. There were no changes made.
I have a question on that.
Okay?
Down on the expenditures there was road construction. What's the meaning of that? Am I looking at the right deal? What is that?
Just looking at the right thing.
If I'm looking at the right piece. This is 2 pages, Tricia.
Page 1 of 2,
Page 1 of 2.
the 338,000.
That's correct. The title of it is road construction. Question in the word road construction. We don't build roads. We don't construct roads.
Any gravel that we purchase will go into that account. Any paving projects that we have done will go into that account.
But is the word construction, is that the appropriate word? That's why I'm asking. Have we always used it as road construction, or?
Yeah, it's been like that since before I can. But gravel and paving of roads is what expenditures will go.
I mean, we have a line of crushed stone and gravel.
The railing and stuff, yeah, you're right. I do have a separate one for crushed on gravel. But the railing and stuff that we have done will go into road construction. Mostly those FEMA projects that we do. A lot of that work that we hire them will go into the road construction account.
So it's just used as, yeah, it'd be very broadly, because we're not in road construction, that's why.
So our receivers can be, just some of it is, some of it.
So, the road construction, if you have a flood, the road washes out, you gotta reconstruct the road. And part of this, if you go back and look.
I understand that, it's reconstruction or repair or a FEMA project but road construction sounds like we're in the road business. That's why I'm questioning that statement.
That's really just the name of the category.
Yeah, it's the name of that line item expenditure.
Each expenditure, as the fiscal court approves the expenditure, is done on its own thing. The name is just the name of the place where that money is allocated, or just the source where it comes from. But you all have to approve the expenditure of the money as it comes out.
Well, I don't have a problem with it. All I'm stating is that the word construction, that's the only question that I have to that is, who's to say me, which I'm not, but are you, Johnny, is for instance, as a lawyer, might want to twist something around to make a construction mean is to build a road. You see what I mean? That's all I'm trying to do. If nobody sees a problem with that word construction, then I'm good with it.
I'll say this, I can change it in the new fiscal year, but I'll say since it's middle of June.
Well, I mean, if we've always
I've done
used it,
construction
and
this year.
that's always been there, for some reason it just stuck out. I don't know why.
Yeah.
Because I guess because of the
In this
revenues didn't tie to it, I guess is what I picked up on.
In this program, when you do these up, I know they're coded, are the codes that you use, are those issued by the state, or is that the ones that our computers generate through the line items?
DLG has a set of codes.
Okay, so that's the codes that we use.
Yeah.
Is that code that is tied to that says road construction, would that, if we all went to Carter County, would they say the same thing?
Without having that book in front of me, I can't tell you.
Because I would assume that the
Because
O
there's,
is attached to the name, and it's just, that's why it's always been there, is because it's gonna be pretty much
yeah.
the same across the state.
I can look, I'll double check and look and see exactly what that county is called in the DLG handbook.
It's-
But I don't know right off, just because it's pretty thick. Because this, you know, there's several different funds with all these funds. But I'll double check for that, Charles.
Is there anything further?
I'll make a motion to approve the second reading.
I'll second.
A motion by Charles Witt, a second by Emily Atkins. Is there any further discussion regarding this? Like I said, all those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have it. Number 3, approve the second reading of the Elliott County Fiscal Court 2022 budget.
So I sent their budget to DLG, and they had one change, and it was moving $600 into the library account for the general fund. It's state mandated that we have that $600 budget.
I've got a couple of questions, just general questions on the paperwork you give us before the review on the budgets. The American Recovery Funds, we're supposed to receive $1.4 million, is that right?
1.45, I believe.
Okay, we have, and was that not to be split, half of it before the end of this fiscal year and then the other half in 21-22?
No. No, you can ask for it up front, which we did not, and receive it in this fiscal year, or you can ask for it in the next fiscal year.
Okay, we have, on the paperwork that we got here, the American Recovery Fund, it's showing $700,000 only for 21-22. That's why, where's the other 700 going to be at?
It was my understanding that you had to wait a year before you could request the second portion of it, so that would be in the next.
So it would be in the next fiscal year?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's my understanding of it.
Okay, that was one question. On the occupational tax, 2020, 2021 here on these comparison tables, you're showing we had $300,000 allocated as an estimation and showing actual right now, when you print this, of $158,693.29. And I'm assuming that's just for the portion of this year up until the time you printed that report. When would that be through what date?
It should, that report should, I don't have that in front of me, Chris. That report should have a date at the bottom of it though.
May the 25th. So it should be through May the 25th then, is that right?
Yes. that's
Well,
correct.
it seems to me, if we had an estimate of $300,000 generated from the occupational tax, and we only have $158,000 through the end of May, are we going to get $142,000 in June?
No. One of the reasons for that is the prison never started paying.
That was the next question I had. They started paying the 1st of May. Why was that?
We, after, I don't know how many calls or how many emails, it didn't happen until finally the last week of April, or the next to last week of April. I got in touch with Wayne in Frankfurt, and my next response was to go to the governor's office. And he said, you found the right guy. His words were, I don't expect for you to believe me, but this is just now crossing my desk due to COVID.
So,
And he said, do you want me to back up and pay you from April 1st of 2020 until now? And my words back to him were, absolutely not. If you do that, you will destroy families. We have single people that work in this prison with children. And he said, okay, what do you want? I said, begin it either last week of April, first week of April of 2021, or first week of May 2021. And that's where.
so we lost, they started in July, did it start in July or in April 20?
April 20.
All right, so we lost the revenue from April of 2020 until they started in May of 21.
We lost their revenue, yes.
And you agreed to do that.
I agreed. I agreed whenever we spoke for him not to backdate documents.
Well, if you look at section S5 in the occupational tax that we passed, that says the employers are to withhold this amount, and item number 3 explicitly says that every employer who fails to withhold or pay to the county any sums required by this ordinance to be withheld and paid shall be personally and individually liable to the county for any sum or sums withheld or required to be withheld in accordance with provisions of this section. Should not the state have to back up and pay us that?
His words were, I'll pay you, I'll get you a check, and we'll hit the employees with it on the back end. And I said, no, you won't.
Yeah, but
I know where you're going.
Yeah, but by this occupational tax, should the state not have to pay it and not charge the employees?
That's correct.
Well, then why don't we pursue that?
Well, I would yield to the county attorney, which we've not discussed this at all.
I'm not saying taking it off the employees, that's not right. But this thing plainly says that we passed that any company or entity that fails to withhold that tax is liable for that. Why should not the state be liable for it just like anybody else? It's not fair to the teachers, it's not fair to any of the other county employees that paid this, and for us to just say, okay, you can pay it a year later, forget about it. It's not fair. And I've had several people ask me about this, and I didn't know what the answer to it was, so I went back and read that. So with that section in there, Johnny, should the state not have to back up and pay us for that, or whoever owns the prison down there, not withholding it from the employees? It's not the employees' fault that they didn't withhold it, but somebody chose not to do that. And if the state can get by with it, if I've got a business here in the county and I decide I don't want to withhold it and pay it, what makes me any different?
That's right, I agree.
What makes the teachers any different? What makes anybody else any different that's paying it? I paid it myself.
That's right.
And we're not talking about somebody that has 1 or 2 employees. We're talking about a large employer that's going to pay probably 30 to 40% of that total tax, and it's just thrown away. We need that money.
I agree.
Can we, Johnny, can you look into,
Absolutely.
because the conversation I had with the gentleman was, I'll pick it up on the back end off the employees, and I said, I interrupted him, and I said, no, you won't. If
He don't have the choice. He has to go with the law we passed. Is that not right?
Should be, yes.
I don't have the right to make my choice of what laws I follow and what I don't. When they're passed up here in the county, you have to abide by them.
That's right.
And my interpretation of the occupational tax plainly says, and just in my interpretation, now tell me if I'm wrong, that if you've got a business, you own a business, and you fail to withhold it on the employees, you don't back up and take it out of their check, but the county can make that company or entity pay whatever the back taxes would have been.
True.
Well, then why don't we pursue it? Why have we decided not to pursue that? That's you're looking at $60,000 or $80,000 probably.
yes, you are.
When we're trying to worry about how to buy a roll of paper towels and get it something to cool the water, you know, we're taking $60,000 or $80,000 of tax money and just letting it go. I don't think we should do that. That's just my humble opinion.
I agree with you.
I agree.
I agree. I mean, there should be, and I know that I talked to girls that have done it in the office, and I know that they had said that they'd reach out to them multiple times, and wasn't like them not having knowledge of it. So I have to say that the state's at fault here.
They started holding it out the 1st of May. I know that for a fact.
And it should fall back on the taxpayers of this county. I have to pay it, everybody else that works in this county has to pay it. And it ain't fair for not one set of anybody.
And I'll say this, I don't think it was a lack of trying either on our occupational tax administration.
No, I don't think
That's
so
what I said,
at
I
all.
know that I talked to them, they said that they had spoken to them multiple
Yeah, I
times.
don't think that's the case at all. And it's not the employee's fault that works down there
Absolutely.
because it hasn't been held out. They should be backed up and held out on them. The state, or whoever owns that prison, should have to pay whatever that tax estimate is. And this law, or this tax that we passed plainly says that. And if we're not going to enforce it on them, we might as well wad it up, throw it in the trash can, and forget about it, because it's not fair.
Johnny, do you want to look into that?
Absolutely. If the fiscal court directs me to.
Do you need a motion made to do that? I'll make the motion that we look into this.
I have a motion by Chris Dickerson to look into the occupational tax not
Chris Ivory.
Yes, that's correct.
And a second by Dewey Smith. Is there any further discussion here? With that said, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
I've got a question on franchising tax. Was we collecting some franchising tax at one time? There's nothing underlined on it.
I never paid it. But now, I wouldn't have, I was a leasing, Russell, yeah, leasing.
Right.
Yes,
Franchise taxes are paid.
they're paid,
We get money from the franchise.
what,
There's
the
nothing listed here.
sheriff turns it over to the clerk, and the clerk sends out the bill, is that correct?
The clerk prepares the bills, the sheriff smells them, yeah. We did receive some, but it's not broken out of those checks. Whenever I get a check from the sheriff's office, it just says all bills. So I put it in real property.
So it is in real property. My understanding wasn't, I think, it's something like $30,000 a year that we receive. You know, I look at $30,000, I look at a new vehicle, part of deputy's salary.
And, you know, if I get two separate checks, one for franchise and one for real property, then I can separate them. But if not,
Can we request that be done?
I can, yeah,
But when you request, who you request that off?
Brittany.
So the sheriff's admin,
Okay, perfect. I just know that's a decent little chunk of change to make sure that we're getting.
any other issue or concerns, questions?
If there's no further questions, I'll make a motion we approve the second reading of the Elliott County Fiscal Court's 2022 budget.
Second that.
We have a motion by Chris Dickerson with a second by Dewey Smith. Is there any further discussion? Let's sit all in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Number 4, approve the signed Eagles contract for paving. This is the flex funds. It's been approved by Frankfurt. It's come back to me, and now it needs your all's final approval. And they're wanting to do the work 22nd. I think it was June the 22nd, weather permitting, they want to do this paving. It's on D Hart Road and both ends of Cold Springs.
Okay, okay.
So yeah, these are county roads, this is through the flex area. And it would be the length of D Hart Road and then 2 sections of Cold Springs that are, well, not there. I want to say, not 2 sections, it's in 2 precincts. I'm sorry. There's a section of it that we're doing in Pam's, and there's a section of it we're doing in Chris's.
That's what we talked about the last
It's the same,
meeting.
it was the same as you all had in front of you.
One of the days that he's going to want to do it.
He's wanting to do it, weather permitting, 21st, 22nd, or 23rd
Now, this time,
of this month. Awesome. And that's why, when he sent that, I guess I was out of town in China. You emailed me back and said we get in front of this before this week.
I'll make a motion to sign this contract for payment.
Second.
Motion by Emily Atkins, with a second by Charles Witt, was that you? Second by Charles Witt. Is there any further discussion? All in favor, signify by saying aye, please.
Aye.
Let's have it. Approved to take bids for ditch line clearing for FEMA projects. Jim, can you take a minute and kind of just, and then we'll walk through this again?
Sure. With the ice storm declaration, we're not talking about the flooding declaration yet, but there will be more ditching projects with it. But with the ice storm, ERCS, Laurel advocated for us to include some ditch work. And FEMA has actually, the lady, she's actually in Texas, but she's the team leader. They actually have approved. We haven't received it in writing yet, but through our meeting on Thursday evenings at 3 o'clock, discussion and the email that I got, it looks like it's going to be a go. So we chose 3 roads. It come to 2 miles basically. And so we need to accept bids because it will exceed $30,000. Most likely. We expect that. So we want to put it out to bid.
But now, isn't there a set price by FEMA?
There is cost covered by FEMA. Other counties have seen that are doing the same as we are. FEMA did not want to pay, they recommend being lower. But that's, again, that's why we take bids. So that's what it is.
It's one of these where you're being allowed to do something in a limited basis, so you better pick the absolute worst spot you can get it in.
Now, keep in mind, this process is, tonight, if you agree to this, and we put it out for bid, the bid will be for 12 months. So whoever gets the contract, when we move into the very same thing we're doing right now for the ice storm declaration, when we start this for the flood declaration, which should be within 2 weeks, we can get another 3 to 5 roads. So we're looking at a much bigger spectrum of getting a lot of ditches cleaned, which is going to help our guys out because we just don't have the manpower.
Elaborate on the roads. They do it, they're saying in length.
Yeah, length.
Or miles.
Yeah.
It's just-
I have to provide GPS coordinates. Me and Myron sat down, we discussed a few roads that needed it, that we could come up with because they was needing that. So, we did, and I had to provide beginning coordinates, ending coordinates, road name, and distance. So, it come up to about 2 miles. One road was 1.1 and the other 2 roads together come up to like 0.9. So, about 2 miles.
And then we'll have to do, for the flooding, when it begins, we've got to reevaluate that. And our thinking was, I want the worst of the worst. What are the worst roads out there that I know we've not had a chance to get to dip the ditches in the last couple of years? And I want the best bang for the buck because this is an outside vendor. It's not one of those where we may be on that road and get a call and have an emergency where a tree falls or we lose a tile or something happens on another road and the backhoe's got to go. This is something where they're going to stay with it until that road is complete.
Yeah. And also included in that bid package is cleaning out of tiles up to 36 inches.
Which is great.
So it's not just cleaning the ditch. They get to clean the tiles too.
Making the nurse price for such place when we're looking at the road, because I'm not the dishes.
What were the 3? Yellow Branch was one of them.
Killen Branch, Prairie Rose Branch, that was the long one.
Yeah.
I'd have to look, I've got to look
And there
down.
was one more. But I tried to get the roads that I knew that had not, we've not cleaned the ditches all the way out on Prairie Rose Branch. We haven't cleaned the ditches all the way out on Gillen Branch. And then when the flood, I've got a kind of an idea of another few roads out here that I want to make sure that and these roads are, this will go right along with some other things I want to do on these roads.
I spoke with Rodney and Thomas this morning about this, and they started making their own second quick. So
Yeah,
they're familiar with what's going on.
Would we need separate bids, so when the flooding comes up,
No, that's what I was saying. This
Still-
here takes care of a year's worth.
so we don't
No,
have to
no,
redo
no,
this?
we're doing
we're-
it
Yeah,
for
we're
2 years.
gonna do this one time, we'll be good for 12 months.
Awesome. I'll make a motion.
We've got a motion by Dewey Smith, a second by Pam Fannin. Is there any further discussion? Let's sit all in favor, signify by saying aye. Ayes have it. Now, did we plan on opening these bids on June 30th as well? Getting them in the newspaper, getting them out there?
Yep.
Okay. And I've already had several in several precincts reach out to me and say, hey, we've got, and part of that bid package you'll see, you must have liability insurance or you can't work on county roads. So if you're out there and you have liability insurance on your company or on yourself, make sure you do. And that's how that'll roll in. And we actually have a page of bidders. We'll actually give you a packet that you'll fill out and turn it back in. And with that, you will present your liability insurance. It must be valid and up to date. Number 6, approved to open sealed bids for crib and railing on Old Laurel Gorge Road. You guys have seen that, you know it needs fixed yesterday. And we're going to try to get that taken care of. Now, we only received one bid, if I'm right, and here it is. It's from Elliott Contracting. Packet. And if you watched steel pricing, you'll know that it's going to. So what the Pettit is saying, $23 a foot on rails, $7 a square foot on the guardrail. Excavation and backfill is $30 a yard, cubic yard. Geotextile fabric is $7 a square yard. No charge for maintaining traffic control. No charge for mobilization or demobilization. Core depth determination drilling is $9 per depth determination. And culvert pipe is what we asked for in there, 60-inch pipe or 60-foot pipe by 5-foot diameter. If you've been down there and looked at that, there are 2 old pipe that are coming out of that, and they're basically falling over toward the lake. And we will actually dig out is that right, Jim? We'll dig out the entire road.
That's right.
And we'll put a 5-foot pipe back in there to catch everything that's coming off that cliff from the road flat side. And there's quite a bit of water coming down through there in forms in there to take that on over and down into the lake. This doesn't have a total. It just shows what the charge is per. And it does notate that steel prices are subject to change because steel is going up and down right now. And I can tell you based on some other prices I've seen, rail prices as high as $36 a foot, and he's putting here $23 a foot. And that's on 3-foot centers, so every 3 foot you'll have a drilled piece of steel. He's ready to start, is that correct?
It's ready to start. Yes, we should call him after the meeting and I let him know if he got it.
You make a motion, do it, second, I'll second.
All right, we've got a motion by Dewey Smith, and a second by Chris Dickerson. Is there any further discussion? That said, all in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Ayes have it, thank you. Number 7, approved to open sealed bids for crib and railing. Jim, is this right? This is the crib and railing for
the FEMA project.
the FEMA projects. Okay.
And just get one on that one
Is it padded as well?
Yes, it's also paid. Contract. All right, it is a mirror image if I'm not mistaken. And he has references here too, by the way. Fleming County, Fleming County Fiscal Court, Nicholas County, and Moore County. It's the exact same pricing, $23 per foot rail. Cribbing or guardrail, $7 square foot, $30 per cubic yard of excavation and backfill. Geotextile fabric, $7 per square yard, and $9 for it's mandatory that you do a test drill. So he's got that in there. These are going to be several projects. What are we up to now?
We got 29 roads, projects. I think 8 of those, now that's stuff, some of that stuff we already fixed. Some of it still be completed. But I think if I'm not mistaken, we had 8 or 9 tiling jobs.
So to put that in perspective from the rains of 20 19, we had 13 in 2019,
Yes.
and now we've got 8 or 9 from 2021.
Yeah, and that's not including the one we already fixed.
Yeah.
So we're right there. at
Which was
19.
Pruitt's Fork.
Yeah.
Yeah. Pruitt's Fork's the one that the road was gone, where it was about to be. So. This is part of the FEMA process. We're kind of getting ahead of the game here. We learned from 2019's with kind of challenges that now if you're ahead of the process when FEMA comes in, you can say, we've already taken the bids. Here's the problem. That's where Crystal comes in and China comes in and says, here's the protocol that we followed. FEMA then says, okay, you've got in front of us what you need. You've got the approved vendor already. Now, let's roll out with them and see what they're doing. So that kind of how.
And I believe we can do a contract with them under this for 18 months. So if we have, unfortunately, another disaster within 18 months, we're covered. We don't have to bid it out again. We can just move forward.
And we're gonna have plenty of,
Well, I think in the future, what I would like to see after dealing with what we've had to deal with, I would like to ask for us in the future to look at doing a 2-year or 4-year contract. That way.
And keep it out in front of you.
That way we'll just move right
That's
on.
good, that's good, thank you.
Yeah.
Well, FEMA, they're going to make you have these anyway. And that's something that we learned was.
What happened to us supplying some of the material for these?
I will tell you this, we started out that way in 2019. It started out, Jim, to get us prices on steel, and I did. And we purchased steel, and we didn't save 1 penny. He was buying it just as cheaper than we were. So, we just didn't save any money doing it. And it's just it's a lot easier for Crystal, it's easier for me, and it's easier for you all if we just let the contractor take care of it.
Why did we start it then? We thought we was gonna save money, that's what we was told, that's why I'm asking.
And we did over the first.
On the first round, I tell you what we ended up with. We ended up with 18 rails that we could use on something else out of that deal. But the pricing, it was messed up. We did end up with the rails. We did. That's what was left up at the state highway garage after we did those 3 projects we got that rail for.
But what led us to that was we had some work done that we were in that crisis mode in 2019. And we started, because we were under state of emergency, so we went ahead and fixed it. And then we come out of state of emergency and we need to fix some other stuff through FEMA. FEMA says, we use us, you're going to take the bids. We take the bids and we went, wow, there is a difference. You're looking at $30-some a foot on the rail versus, it got as low, it was down around 17, right?
It was.
It was $17 on the
It
foot.
was 18 and I called them on it. I said, no, you told me 17.
So they come back and get it to
Another
us.
dollar.
But now,
is there any state contracts on that stuff? Or that was,
No, not that we know of.
So you need a motion to accept the pricing?
I do.
I'll make a motion.
Second.
Motion by Charles Wood, second by Emily Atkins. Is there any further discussion? That said, all in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Ayes have it. Approve the Elliott County Fiscal Court's standing orders.
This is just the annual standing order to pre-approve certain recurring expenses. It's something that's included in the budget every year, and it's not changed in several years. The same accounts are still on there. Basically, the only accounts you're gonna see there is salary, debt, and utilities. Stuff that I cannot receive approval prior to payment. So if a lease is due, I'll obviously need to pay. Or our salaries and wages, those things that need to be paid in between meetings.
make a motion to approve the standing order.
Second.
Motion by Brian Dillon, with a second by Charles Wood. Is there any further discussion? That said, all in favor, signify by saying aye, please.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. Number 9, executive session. I'd like a motion to go into executive session pursuant to KRS 61.810 subsection G for discussions between a public agency and a representative of a business entity, discussions concerning a specific proposal, if open discussions would jeopardize the siding, retention, expansion, or upgrading of the business.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Dewey Smith, second by Emily Atkins. All in favor, signify by saying aye, please.
Aye.
Okay. I need a motion to exit executive session and return to regular session.
Motion to exit.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion? All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Okay. During the executive session, no final action was taken, and our conversation was limited to those topics as set forth in KRS 61.810 subsection G. All right. Approve paid and unpaid bills.
Motion to approve.
Second.
A motion by Chris Dickerson, with a second by Pam Fannin. Any further discussion? That said, all in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Ayes have it. Number 2, approve interfund budget transfers and journal entries.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion by Emily, with a second by Charles. Any further discussion? That said, all in favor, signify by saying aye, please.
Aye.
Ayes have it. Number 3, approve to pay Sandy Hook, Iceville, and 504 fire departments $11,000 each from coal severance funds.
Motion.
Second.
Motion by Dewey Smith, a second by Brian Dillon. Any further discussion? That said, all in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Ayes have it. Number 4, approve to pay Crystal Lyons incentive training.
Motion to approve.
Motion by Chris Dickerson, with a second by Pam Fannin. You second that?
Sure.
All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Ayes have it. Communication from other county offices, acknowledging monthly reports.
I'd like Noted to send a thank you to Judge Cheney, Greg Cheney, for the dump truck. We sent him an acknowledgement.
Will do.
Very, very nice gesture.
For those of you who don't know, Judge Executive Eric Cheney of Boyd County had a surplus of 2 tricycle trucks. One of those trucks was donated to the Elliott County Fiscal Court.
Very nice.
The approximate value of this truck was over $30,000.
Bravo to him.
So I can't thank the Boyd County Fiscal Court. I can't thank Judge Cheney. I can't thank the citizens of Boyd County. And I don't want to speak for Judge Cheney, but our conversations were, Judge, there's everything that kind of comes that way. And I've been down to his road department several times, and he had that, and he's entering into some other contract, I believe, with a leasing program with new trucks. And we were more than happy to take this off of his hands. We drove down, we got it, brought it back. We just need to finish the paperwork. It's a Sterling, and it's sitting down there in its tracks. So we're thank you, Boyd County Fiscal Court. Thank you, Judge Cheney.
He's a very good fellow. Anytime I'm down there, he always flags me down and talks to me. Just a super nice guy.
Motion to acknowledge monthly report.
Second.
Motion by Emily Atkins, a second by Brian Dillon. Is there any further discussion? That said, all in favor, signify by saying aye. Before we go any further, if you have something to bring before the court, you'll get it. We're getting down to crunch time on the information we need as far as the ice storm. Is that right, Jim?
That's right.
If you, and I want to kind of plead to the fiscal court, and I want to plead to the folks of Elliott County, if you did work during the ice storm, we need to know how many hours you spent doing the work in the ice storm. We need to know what equipment you used. That's called in-kind contribution, and that can go toward our obligations with FEMA. This can save the county thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars. If you did work, if your family did work, if you got out and you worked in this storm, chainsaw, pickup truck, tractor, backhoe, whatever you used, we need to hear from you. We need to know what you did and approximate hours. We need that written down. You can email me at ejudge@mrtc.com. You can can call us at the office, 738-5826. We will have to have it in writing. We will need you to sign it that you did do that work. And if it was you and your 2 children, then those children count as well. And you won't be paid personally, but what you are doing is you are removing some of that debt obligation from the county of Elliott through these ice storms. This is very important. We're looking at getting several $100,000 paid for on our end, and whatever you provide to us that you did in writing, in a signature, or we can get a form that we can have you fill out and sign it, you can save us literally tens of thousands of dollars toward this debt obligation. So reach out to me, reach out to your magistrates, whoever you're comfortable with, but ultimately we need that to provide that to FEMA and our EOR assist to show that we have that in Elliott County during the ice storms. Extremely important. Thank you, but as we had so many all over the county who just stepped up and helped, we need to know who you were. And we need to know so we can help our county's debt obligation. You're helping the county as a whole. Do we?
Motion to adjourn.
I'd like to ask a question.
Yes, sir.
So before we adjourn. During this ice storm, have we approached the fire departments about the help they did? Have we offered to help them with their expenses that they were out? Have we done anything in that nature to help them?
We paid the expenses.
We
So you did pay the expenses for the fire department?
Well, it was on our bill. We didn't let them pay for anything. They either charged to the fiscal court or they come to the county garage and got it.
Okay. Any question answered?
we paid those.
Okay.
It was when we went under state of emergency, he jumped into action
Good.
and did more than his job, really.
Good.
If they needed it, they got it.
Good.
And we'll have a discussion about that probably on the 30th as well.
Okay.
But, okay, motion to adjourn by Dewey, second by Pam. Any further discussion? All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Thank you, Madam